Evening, viewers, wherever you're catching the signals of Sararights TV from. I am Eddie Mahaz, your presenter currently. As I talk, it's 35 minutes.
Thank you for timing here. And we are here to discuss sports, and we have got a number of sporting stories to discuss, including the WESTNILE Derby between Onduparaka Football Club and Team Paidha Blackens. Who takes the bragging right remains to be seen.
We have the WESTNILE Derby. Then tomorrow we also have the Uganda Cup final, the second leg, which will be between Chitara and Vipers Football Club. The first leg of this game ended in a goalless draw that was down in Mashindi, where the Royal Park Butema for the home ground for Chitara. This game ended in a goalless draw, but now this time around we are going to St. Mary's Chitende, whereby Vipers will be facing Chitara. We all know in the Uganda Premier League, Vipers are top in the table, meanwhile Chitara are third on the log. But this time around, the battle is between not in the Uganda Premier League, it is in the Uganda Cup. We all know Vipers are the defending champions for this game. Yeah. So, with all the experience that Chitara has got, Chitara is going against a very consistent Vipers that we know can splash any money to go for any player in this country. What's your take?
Eddie, when you look at the two teams, these are two brilliant teams playing in the sometimes Uganda Premier League. These are excellent teams, and these teams have been doing extremely very well. When you realize Team Chitara, when you look at the signings, you realize that they went for high profile players. You could talk about players like Mohamed Saban. You realize that they are here for the business. You remember, this is a team that has exposed a little bit more of good name players already. Mohamed Saban's caliber will want to win trophies for this team. Of course, they signed him expensively. Of course, he has to deliver for this team of Chitara Football Club. If he doesn't deliver, definitely the same will be actually on Mohamed Saban. Of course, that man is huge, and I can tell you, Vipers are too hungry when it comes to trophies right now. In Uganda football, you realize that Morindwa is desperate for trophies, and he's a businessman. He always wants trophies for his team, and if the team wins trophies, he passes more money to the players, and the players are always very happy. I can tell you, this is going to be another interesting match between Chitara and Vipers. But when you look at the game itself on paper, you realize that the Vipers actually have got what it takes to win this game. Remember, the first league ended 0-0. That was a plus for Team Vipers. Of course, Vipers is not going to be playing the games at home. Can Chitara do the magic? Can Mohamed Saban do his magic that he used to do before to actually overturn this actually 0-0 draw that they had before? So it remains to be seen. As St. Mary's this is going to be a hard actual mountain to climb for Team Chitara. But if you ask me, I really see that this team of Vipers is going to take the battle, and they are desperate. Of course, they are also chasing for the Southern Ghana Premier League gong. Definitely, yes. If they win this, they'll be going for a double in when it comes to trophies into their books. And the Southern Ghana Premier League is open for them, and the Ghana Cup is as well open for
USSA games. Our own representatives of the West Nile football outside there, the Mvara Senior Secondary School, were ejected out of the competitions, whereby they were beaten by Namasa SS that come from all the way from Bale. They were beaten by, they beat our very own Mvara Senior Secondary School by 3-2. We all know Mvara Secondary School went into these games all guns out to actually play these games. They lost their game by 2-1, and today they lost their game to Namasa by 3-2. Mvara Secondary School, after qualifying thrillingly for the round of 32 games, are now out of the USSA Games 2026. What's your take? You know, it's a big shame. I should say I didn't want to say same, but it's actually it's a mountain to climb for us, the West Nilers. Our flag bearers don't really go that far. Reaching only round of 32 is not a big thing. I should say maybe something of round of 8 or round of 16 would be something of Mvara Senior Secondary School. We know they have always been doing this. They have been doing this a couple of seasons. They have been going that far. We remember at a certain time they were beaten by Chibuli by 2-1. But today comes a nightmare for them, being beaten by Namasa SS by 3-2. What's your take for all speakers of West Nile? Let your voice be heard about Mvara Senior Secondary School.
You see, Eddie, I was actually laughing when he said Mvara was exactly similarly. To me, I was also looking at an uncle whereby you studied at St. Julius College Umbati, and the rivalry between St. Julius College Umbati and Mvara SS is there.
Yes.
And I don't know where that same is coming from, but it's quite unfortunate for a team in the caliber of Mvara Senior Secondary School with the pedigree they have got in West Nile.
Yes.
Being ejected out of the USSA games actually in the round of prior to these games. When they're playing games here in Arua, you realize that this team was not playing that A game that we used to see this team play before. So, I can tell you, when these teams were playing in the Arua City post-primary ball games, you realize that Mvara was not all that actually doing all that best when it comes to this. It was only pedigree that actually favors them. To go up to the finals and then up to the zonals. It's only the pedigree that was carrying them. But on pitch, you realize that the display itself, the level of maturity shown into the players is not really to the billion. I can tell you, I never expected Mvara Senior Secondary School to go all that far into the USSA games after the national like this. I never expected them to go like this. I expected teams like St. Julius College to do magics. I expected teams like Arua HS to do magic. Because these are teams that actually played their best when it comes to the Roast ball games. But with Samson Tizo could also into the mix in that team of Mvara Senior Secondary School. And one person who is not all that well contented with actually his philosophy when it comes to coaching. Samson Tizo could
again pressing type of football.
Of course, that's the traditional kind of football.
Yeah, timeline type of football.
Yes,
the current Manchester United type of football.
That's something which is way back, and it's high time that it needed to be dynamic with the formations. It needs to be dynamic. Actually, with the player that you're dealing with. Samson Chizokuti has got a quality of players that he always deals with. So if those players are not into the team, he always suffers a lot. And it's not a surprise to me that Mvara got ejected from these national games. I'm told some of their players, they're kind of aging when it's come to playing the games for the national, for the school itself. Some are actually already in senior 6, some already in senior 4. Definitely, those who are in air level will not be playing again. In some of the games coming up for from Mvara. Yeah. So, in my own view, Mvara needs to come back to the drawing board. Of course, Mvara is the only school that is being funded here by FIFA, and it has got all what it takes to attract the quality of play that they have. Of course, if you're supposed to be talented, that's where you're supposed to go and study in. If in athletics, in football, you're supposed to go to Mvara Senior Secondary School. But that opportunity has not been offered on merit in that school. Yes. You see, they tend to sign players on a bursary, but these players are supposed to go and study for free if you're talented in co-curricular activities. So it's kind of unfortunate for a school of Mvara's caliber to be ejected out of into the games of the nationals in there. But Samson Chizukuti, Mvara needs to go back into the drawing board and maybe look into someone else, not Samson Chizukuti. Of course, yes, he has been one of the high-profile coaches in West Nile, but when it comes to national level, he always doesn't perform to the billion. And Mvara is one of the schools that's kind of all that he recognized national-wide when it comes to some of these games. Yes. So, if Mvara wants to do magics, if they want to win the national championship, what should they do? They need to go for a high-profile coach who can be who can be important to do magic, who can be important to be flexible with the players. When it comes to formation, Samson Chizokuti will constantly use his 4-2-3-1 formation. He'll never be playing 4-3-3. He'll never be playing 4-2-2. 4-2-2. This is a formation that he'll never be playing in. So, to me, if Mvara wants to go higher and higher, yes, they needed to go away from Samson Chizokuti's era. They need to find another course whom I think we have got coaches here in West Nile who are dynamic enough. Mahaz is here. Okay. We have got Sararights Lolo is into the mix. This year, the current generation of coaches that we expected to lead a school of Mvara's caliber.
Okay, get this from me. I'm not opposing your opinion. I should say Samson Chizokuti, out of his 4-3-2-1 formation, the Gegen pressing he uses, the Inter Milan type of football he uses. Don't you think he has done enough for Mvara SS? You know, he did win the regionals. He did with the post-primary games. This was all out of the Gegen pressing. You know, in the post-primary games, what normally happens is the first half and the second half, you can normally take 30 minutes or 25 minutes. So how are you going to defend yourself in saying that the type of football needs to be changed right from the post-primary games?
I'm talking about the beauty of the game.
Yeah, I understand it's the beauty of the game, but this time around we are talking about the trophies and the flags flying very high. I should say there are clubs that are playing very beautiful football, but without the trophies coming, it is actually something different.
Eddie, Samson Sizukuti has been in with the team of Vasina for 2 seasons consecutively.
Yes.
And in his first season, he won the Rural City post-primary game trophy.
Yes, I understand.
Then he goes on ahead and wins the regionals. The regionals. That's 2 trophies only.
Yeah.
Then this year, things never go the way he expected. That clearly tells you that his mind has been divided.
No.
With Pakwat's youngsters, he's into the mix.
Yeah, he actually
the pressure is there. Yes, he won the trophy with the team.
Yes.
Just because the team spent a lot of money to bring in the quality of player that works best with Samson Sizukuti.
Yeah.
So, with this team of Mvara Senior Secondary School, with the quality of players that Mvara is having, and with the quality that Samson Sizukuti is having in himself, to some extent, you realize that to me, Samson Sizukuti, to a higher extent, he feels too big when it comes to coaching West Nile.
Okay.
That's one thing. He believes that no one beats him in West Nile when it comes to football. But in West Nile, he can be the king.
Yes.
But what does Mvara need? Mvara needs the national trophy to be here.
Okay, I get your point.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I get your point. But are you giving his flowers in West Nile? You're giving him those flowers based on West Nile football, right?
Yeah.
Just give him his flowers when it comes to West Nile.
Not really.
So you still underrate Mvara Senior Secondary School when it comes to West Nile football, or what are you saying?
No, I don't underrate Mvara Senior Secondary School.
Okay.
I underlook Samson Sizokuti's qualities in coaching.
Okay, leaving that aside, in other results of the games that did transpire earlier today, we did see Budo SS beating Kakozi Seed. Meanwhile, Kichowa High were beaten by Kawempe Muslims. Meanwhile, Agape were beaten by Nkoma SS. Now, Jipra, which is also called Ginger Progressive, did play a 0-0 draw with Amus College. Meanwhile, Amus College beat them 5-4-2 on penalties. We all know these are Ugandan champions. We all know Amus College. We know them of the pedigree. We know them of the good quality they have always exhibited in the USSA games. Coming against a contented Jipra Progressive, they did go for a 0-0. They did go for a 0-0 draw. Now, in other perspective, with the teams that have qualified in the USSA games, we are seeing Nkoma SS, Amus College, we are seeing Menta SS, the one in Lira, we are seeing Chadondo SS. In the other perspective, they are through to the round of 16 games. Meanwhile, in these games, a moment of silence was observed for Matsin Mondena, who plays for St. Noah Girls. She did pass away yesterday. May her soul rest in peace. Amen. Meanwhile, in the big league, we have the West Nile Derby. This is where I want to shift our focus to, the West Nile Derby. I should say, Onduparaka, which is 9th placed on the table, is going against the 5th displaced side, Paidha Black Angels. Now, this game will be at home at Ababe Greenlight Stadium, whereby the ordinary will have a fee of 5,000 Ugandan shillings. Meanwhile, the VIP will have a fee of 10,000 Ugandan shillings. We all know that Onduparaka this season they have a record set at home of not losing games. Their worst at home has been a draw. Or it's either you draw with Onduparaka at home, or he takes the 3 maximum points. So they're coming against a hungry side by the names of Paidha Black Angels, going to face Onduparaka at home. Now, I would say it's an easy ride for Paidha Black Angels because they're 5th placed, and you know the kind of football they play, the signings they've brought in. But I would say now Onduparaka is also at home, based on the form, the consistency they have in picking the 3 maximum points. It's not right. But we all know Onduparaka has not lost at home this season, and they have a very good record since 2017 against clubs at home. Who do you think needs the 3 maximum points most?
I like that question. But when you look at these two teams, you realize that they are both from Onduparaka and the team by the Black Angels. All these teams desperately needs 3 points here.
Yes.
Either Onduparaka or team by the Black Angels. But to some greater extent, you realize that Onduparaka needs this 3 points more than by the Black Angels.
Seriously? Paidha
To some greater extent.
Okay.
Okay?
I think they are safe of the relegation zone.
Onduparaka, they're not safe. If Onduparaka loses the 3 remaining games, if they lose all the games and the other teams win all those games, Onduparaka will be in the red carpet again.
Yes.
You remember, since the start of the season, where Onduparaka was before, they were in the red carpet.
Yes.
That is something which I think is really going to be affecting them so big in there. But team by the Black Angels and team Onduparaka Football Club, these are teams that all do have got a partnership deal arranged. Onduparaka has got a partnership, and then team by the Black Angels, they also have got a partnership with Chili Loans down in Paidha.
Yes.
Chili Loans been owned by Derek Passy.
Yes.
So I can tell you, money-wise, these two clubs will be motivating their players. Go out there, do your best, and win. You get your money. So, Onduparaka will be recruited. They will be awarding players for man of the match. They will be awarding the 18 commandos on the pitch. That's something that I think will be motivating the players more, because these players have not been getting their allowances during match days at our regular stadium.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of the motivational power factors for them. But I can tell you, when you look at the previous records between these two teams, you realize that the team by the Black Angels has got a better head-to-head than Onduparaka Football Club. 3 wins and
3 wins and
2 draws. That speaks volume about team by the Black Angels. They've beaten all the teams here in West Nile more than any other team.
Yes.
They've beaten Onduparaka Football Club more. They've beaten Calvary more. They've beaten Nebishendru more. Even Juman Town Council, this team of the Black Angels has got a better record when it comes to West Nile football here. Of course, it has been one of the biggest clubs in West Nile region. One of the oldest clubs is the Black Angels. Then Odramatako comes in, Mvara Boys comes in, then the Dufe Boys into the mix. I can tell you, this is going to be a mouth-watering class. But a team dreams are supposed to be alive, that needs this point more is supposed to be by the Black Angels.
Yeah, because they are qualifying for the Uganda Premier League.
Of course, it will be our pride. Of course, Calvary is doing mysteriously badly in the Southern Uganda Premier, and soon they will be relegated from the Southern Uganda Premier League.
Yes.
We need to have a representative from Western region to go and represent us in the Southern Uganda Premier League. Have a team playing in the top tier league. So, with the quality of play, when it comes to football, we need a team in the step up by the Black Angels to go into the Southern Ghana Premier League. But I think they are a team which I fancy to win this game against the Black Martin and by the Black Angels.
You're giving this chance for them.
I'm giving the chance to them. Of course, they have been on good form. They have been doing things surprisingly. They have been winning games. So it's not going to be it's not going to be a big surprise to me if Team Onduparaka loses this game at Abegula Stadium. But don't underrate this team of the Football Club. The fans are always very chaotic. But one thing is the leadership of fans of the Football Club needed to be organized. Issues of organism, we really needed to avoid them. Of course, we are one in West Nile. Football should not separate us. We have seen issues happening between Onduparaka and the Ruak Hill, which caused a lot of issues here and there. You see, Onduparaka even got penalized for that. So, if they will be doing this against the Black Angels, it's going to be another cost one for them. I'm urging the fans who are watching us currently to be calm when it comes to this. Of course, we all know derbies always comes with tension. The derbies comes with a lot of expectation, and if you know how to to calm down your tension, if you know how to work on your expectation, probably you could be winning this game. But it all starts with the fans. If the fans can be disciplined enough, if the players can be disciplined on the pitch, definitely we shall be having a decent West Nile Derby between these two teams.
Yeah, a couple of Onduparaka veterans have confirmed to me. We have the likes of Taha Rashid, who currently plays in this game. The likes of the Onduparaka veterans elsewhere have also confirmed on the social media handles that they'll be live in this game to watch Onduparaka Football Club against Paidha Black Angels tomorrow. Don't forget, the gate fee for the ordinary is always 5,000 Ghana shillings. Meanwhile, the VIP fee is only 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Come one, come all. We all know Onduparaka is a club that actually is based on the fans, the support from the fans. There's no much money coming from any other sponsors, but it is the fans. So lobbying.
But before you go for that, when you look at this team of Onduparaka Football Club, on paper, you realize that Onduparaka has got its ownership, and it has been revealed by FIFA that the three shareholders of Onduparaka Football Club, we have got Benjamin Nyakuni.
Mm-hmm.
He has 40% of the shares. Munduru Masi, the wife to Benjamin, has 40% of the shares. And then Joy Erima has 20%, which means Onduparaka Football Club 100% is owned by these three people. So these three people offer their chance
For the fans.
to the fans. They wanted to entrust the fans. As they entrust the fans in ruling or in managing this club, they're the ones benefiting with the shares. They just gave a very small portion of the shares to the fans, and the fans were not really aware about the real ownership. They thought this club has been given deliberately to the fans now, but it's not the case. Those of Joe Erima, those of Munduru Mas, those of Benja, they gave the fans what we call 5 years to manage this club, which means after the expiry of these 5 years, definitely the three people will take away the club again. So I was not imagining something. If this club gets relegated into the 4th division league or into the regional league, how would those of Benja, Erima, and Masi feel about? Of course, they're the beneficiary of this. I can tell you the Ababet money that was given here was very huge,
Worth 800 million Ugandans.
I can tell you, where does this money? People tend to hate you, but these are realities happening with the club.
Okay, that's about the West Nile Derby that will take place on Sunday, where we shall see Paidha Black Angels paying a visit to Onduparaka Football Club. Meanwhile, moving ahead, we are having the FA Cup final. Moving to the international stories, now we're having the FA Cup, the Emirates FA Cup final, where we shall see Chelsea playing against a Manchester City, a very stubborn Chelsea going against a very cruel Manchester City. Now, in the team news of these games, we are seeing McFarlane has said we are going to have Levi Colwill, Rhys James, the likes of Leandro Garnacho are all in training, alive in training, so they will be available for selection. Meanwhile, Manchester City, Pep Guardiola did release a team news based on his press conference this afternoon, saying that Erling Braut Haaland, Jeremy Doku, Ryan Cherki will all be available in this game, plus Phil Foden. There are no much injury concerns. Meanwhile, Rico Lewis all in this game, all the youngsters in Man City. Actually, I should say City has all the players available, exception of only a few in this game. So now this game will be held tomorrow at around 5 p.m. So we are seeing Manchester City coming in this game against Chelsea. It's a certain fatherless Chelsea, I should say. Chelsea fans will forgive me. I should say Chelsea is fatherless at this point. They will be coming against a Guardiola who is willing to have 2 to 3 trophies this season. They have already 2 alternatives. They did leave Erling Haaland, Ryan Cherki, Crystal Palace. They are coming in this game to play Team Chelsea, who are, I should say, if this form of Chelsea started at the end of the season, this will be the Tottenham Hotspur we are seeing today. So they're going against City tomorrow at 5 p.m. What are you analyzing from this point of view?
Chelsea has been a team that looks like you are an oxygen
in the ICU.
I can tell you, Chelsea with the spending, with the money that they've spent on sending a number of good quality players, and I've expected them to play like this. And just look at the sacking of Enzo Maresca.
Yeah,
it was something internally, and Enzo Maresca never wanted to leave Chelsea. That was one of the demoralizing factors to the players himself. The players loved him. It's only the internal staff for Team Chelsea. I should say about the Chelsea doctors, the physios, the kind that affected his sacking.
Yes.
So, in today's coming up against certain Pep Guardiola, who is desperate to win the Premier League with 2 matches remaining, who is desperate to win the FA Cup. He has already won the Carabao Cup already.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola will never leave this untouched. Of course, Chelsea, they only know their hope. The only hope of silverware is by winning the Emirates Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the head-to-head between Chelsea and Manchester City in the recent years, Manchester City has been dominating games against Chelsea. They've been winning games consistently.
The best for Chelsea should be a draw.
Of course. So, Manchester City, a team that is so much desperate for silverwares, and Chelsea, knowing very well their only hope of winning silverwares this season is going to be a hard one. But when you look at the two teams itself, the quality of players, these two teams they have got excellent kind of players into the team. The team looks a little bit balanced, but flexibility when it comes to formation. Pep Guardiola has been thinking around with his squad, but he knows why he's doing that. But with this team of Chelsea now playing this game at Wembley Stadium, it is going to be really a very, very big game for Team Chelsea Football Club. This is where you'll be knowing the fate of Team Chelsea Football Club. Mm-hmm. If they win this, probably they have got higher chances of playing in the Europa League. If they win the FA Cup. So if they fail to do this, definitely their hopes of playing in Europe can be limited. That's according to me. But don't underrate Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola will do all the magics to win this game against Chelsea. Whether it's been in penalties, whether it's been in full time, but I'm expecting this game to end in normal time. Haaland can't stop scoring, and Foden always want to do his magics. Ryan Cherki, I remember what he did against Arsenal.
Yes.
So, the same thing I'm also expecting at Wembley to happen against Chelsea.
So, what scoreline are you seeing in this game exactly?
I'm seeing a 2-0 win for Manchester City against Chelsea.
Okay. So, you are seeing a 2-0 win for Manchester City in the FA Cup final that will be held tomorrow at Wembley Stadium down in England. Now, in other stories, in the transfer stories, we are seeing João Pedro is actually wanted by Barcelona. Meanwhile, Chelsea have confirmed that any bid that will be laid out for João Pedro will not be accepted. And perhaps what they have said in all these games, in all this transfer news, is that João Pedro is part of that project. When you look at a certain Barcelona is looking for a replacement for João Pedro. I mean, for Lewandowski. Now, they are eyeing out João Pedro in a situation whereby when Lewandowski leaves, João Pedro is supposed to step in. Now, with all the gap not being filled in Chelsea, we know João Pedro is a striker that can score for you 15 plus goals in a season. So now, being the only hope in Chelsea, because Ipswich want back their guy, Liam Delap.
Yeah.
Now, Jackson, his fate is not yet decided. Now, João Pedro is the only relying hope who can get goals for Chelsea at this point. Do you think it's a smart move to let João Pedro go? Or it's going to be something that will be going down the pecking orders that João Pedro the release clause. I mean, his release clause has been put 85 million pounds, but now Barca said they are willing to give this money. So Chelsea is again pulling back, seeing that there's no replacement for João Pedro, meaning at this point the transfer has become at a stake. So if this transfer is to materialize, which club will benefit and which club will lose?
Of course, business-wise, it's going to be a good one for Team Chelsea Football Club.
Yes.
We all know Chelsea is a business club.
Yes.
They sign players cheaply, but at the end of the day, they sell players very expensively. Look at players like Junior Dos Santos Oscar. How much did they sell him? Look at players like Eden Hazard to Real Madrid. How much did they sell him? Very expensive. Chelsea, business-wise, they're excellent. And they've given contracts to these players 5 years, 7 years, 6 years. These are contracts that you can't buy at ease. If your player wants to play maybe in Europe, he has got Barcelona to play in. And at Barcelona, the system of play definitely will suit João Pedro in my own view. But if Barcelona Football Club needed actually a top quality player, a top quality striker, I expected Barcelona to go for a player in the caliber of Igor Thiago of Team Brentford. Very excellent player. That's why he has been called into the team of into the team of Brazil.
Yes.
If he continues with that fine form in the FIFA World Cup, definitely you'll be seeing a number of clubs coming for him. But a player of the only difference between Igor Thiago and João Pedro is the speed.
Yeah.
João Pedro is very fast on the ball. He knows where to get the ball. He's always very direct on the ball.
I give you other difference. I should say
that's it.
Igor Thiago is
but for Igor Thiago, he uses a lot of the body.
Yeah.
That's not all that much needed in La Liga.
To add on to that, I should say he's very wasteful. He's very wasteful. Am I lying? He's wasteful. Yeah, he's wasteful.
But all in all, if Chelsea wanted to sell this guy, it's gonna be a good one for them. And I know the offer that will be coming for him, Nicolas Jackson, should be coming back actually into that team of Chelsea. Of course, Bayern are saying that they will not be giving him a contract in there. Of course, he'll be leaving Bayern. Of course, Bayern currently they're the champions of German Bundesliga. So Nicolas Jackson has won himself a silver away already with Bayern Munich under Vincent Kompany. That's something very, very actually influential for him. But I think with the Atletico Madrid also losing out a player in the shape of Antoine Griezmann, we could be seeing other opportunities coming for some of these players. Don't rule any signing in the summer. You could be seeing Nicolas Jackson crossing over. You could be seeing João Pedro crossing over, Igor Thiago crossing over. Teams are going to be desperate in their signings in the summer signing.
Okay, to leave that aside, Arsenal are interested in the services of Fernandes, who is open for selling. Meanwhile, the Denmark midfielder Christian Norgard, who hasn't made any remarkable appearances since joining for Brentford, is set to leave Arsenal on a loan deal. Meanwhile, Everton, Crystal Palace and Bournemouth have approached FC Midtjylland in pursuit for 22-year-old Chile midfielder Dario Osorio Baya. Meanwhile, Bayer Leverkusen are set to sack manager Kasper
Homeland.
Meanwhile, Chelsea are targeting a move for AC Milan goalkeeper Mike Maignan. Now, at this point, you have Robert Sanchez, you have Jorgensen, and you're not letting any of them go. Do you think it's a good move for Chelsea to get a goalkeeper expensively for 30 million pounds in the names of Mark Maignan to actually give competition for Sanchez? Do you think it is a deal worth happening?
Of course, Mark is a top goalkeeper. He's currently the goalkeeper for France national team.
Yes.
And with that team of Milan, he is as well the first choice goalkeeper. So, comparing him to those of Sanchez and Philip Jorgensen at Chelsea, you realize that he's a much better goalkeeper compared to all these goalkeepers. Mark Maignan is a ball-playing goalkeeper, and Robert Sanchez is not a ball-playing goalkeeper. You can only compare Mark with Philip Jorgensen at Chelsea. Philip Jorgensen is a ball-playing goalkeeper. If Chelsea Football Club gets a coach who adapts that actually playing football, who adapts a goalkeeper who will be starting those drop balls with the fullbacks, with the centre backs, Mark Minan is good to go with Philip Jorgensen. It will not be down to the competition itself. Which team will be having who will be having the nod over the other. But when you look at the consistency, you realize that Mark will be a perfect one for Chelsea per now, because his confidence level has been all that high, and Philip Jorgensen has been not starting games for Chelsea Football Club consistently, and we have seen Robert Sanchez making actually silly mistakes for Chelsea Football Club. But if Chelsea Football Club compared to the two.
Okay, now to leave that aside, we have up next the player of the season selections. The short listing of the players already out. We have David Raya, who is a goalkeeper for the team Arsenal. We have Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United. We all know how pivotal he has been. We have Erling Braut Haaland. Without his goals, Man City wouldn't have been this far. We are seeing the likes of Declan Rice, remarkable players for Arsenal. Morgan Gibbs-White for Nottingham Forest is in the list. Anthony Semenyo for Bournemouth and Manchester City. All those records are considered. Now we are seeing a list of players plus we actually have Gabriel Magalhaes, the only defender featuring, and David Raya, the only goalkeeper featuring. Arsenal having 3 representatives. David Raya, we're having Gabriel Magalhaes and Declan Rice. Meanwhile, Manchester City has only 2. I should say Anthony Semenyo, he's considered for the playing time that he had in Bournemouth. Meanwhile, we also have Morgan Gibbs-White, Declan Rice, and Bruno Fernandes as the midfielders in this play. I should say in short terms, who is your player of the season so far?
Out of all these players, but it's hard to predict.
Yes,
because
it's your own perspective, your own opinion, choosing who is your player of the season.
I have 3 players.
Yes.
One has to take it all.
Yeah.
David Raya of Arsenal Football Club.
Yes.
Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United.
Yes.
Haaland at the Manchester City.
Yes.
The reason as to why I said it's kind of very hard to predict is we still don't know who will be winning the Premier League.
Yes.
If Haaland wins the Premier League with Manchester City, if he wins the Premier League and he wins his Golden Boot, definitely he will be considered at first. The same also applies to David Raya.
Yes.
If David Raya wins the English Premier League with Arsenal, he has already won
the Golden Glove.
The Golden Glove award already with 18 clean sheets. He has got a spirit difference. In these 2 remaining games, no one will actually surpass that.
Yeah.
Then Bruno Fernandes, we all know his magic at Manchester United under Michael Carrick.
Individual brilliance.
He transformed Manchester United. He showcased his actual leadership abilities. He used his technique to see that he pushes Manchester United to some extent. In some games, Bruno Fernandes acts like a coach in the pitch. Very, very brilliant. But out of all these 3 players, one will take it. But Bruno Fernandes has also taken an award already. So, assist, he has won it. At Manchester United, he has been considered player
of the season.
Player of the season. So, he's also vying for this in the Premier League. So we all know Manchester United has got the majority of the fans, the majority of the journalists in Europe who are voting for some of these awards. Don't underrate Bruno Fernandes in this.
So, personally, as a pundit, you're giving it to Bruno Fernandes?
Looking at his contribution, the Manchester, he's not winning a silverware with Manchester United.
Yeah. But
his contribution for Manchester United deserves that. Okay. I'm expecting Bruno Fernandes to win this.
Okay. For my player of the season, I'll be going for David Raya. We all know how terrific he has been.
That's why I was kind of better in predicting this, but either of the 3 players, one will win it.
Okay, conclusively, I would say my player of the season is David Raya, the goalkeeper for Arsenal Football Club. To the fans out there.
Before actually we give our parting shot, of course, in the Premier League, there will be games coming up in the Premier League, of course. Today, there's a big one. Liverpool will be traveling to Villa Park. Of course, Aston Villa will be playing against Liverpool. This game will be at 10 p.m. Of course, you have to watch this game in there. Liverpool has been struggling, and it's likely that they'll be finishing in the top 4. If they don't win this game against team Aston Villa today, they will definitely be finishing in the top 4. And then Aston Villa, if they win this, they have got that spot to play in the Europe already. Of course, this is going to be one of the biggest games to follow. And then on Sunday, we'll be seeing Brighton entertaining Tottenham Hotspur. Leeds United will be playing against Leeds United will be playing against. I don't know how this trip was prepared, but Brighton will be playing against Spurs. Then Leeds United will be playing against Brentford, I think. And then Everton will be playing against Sunderland. Wolves will be playing against Fulham. We shall be seeing Newcastle United playing against a certain team in the name of West Ham. And then Manchester United will be playing against a certain Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford. But in this game, where Manchester United will be playing against Nottingham Forest, you realize that Casemiro will be in and will be saying his actually final goodbye to the fans. Of course, this will be the last game that he'll be playing at Old Trafford. And Michael Carrick is not expected to sign a 2-year contract with Manchester United. These are some of the stories popping in from Manchester currently.
Finally, your parting shots out there, knowing that on Sunday we have a derby.
Of course, the fans of these great teams have to be hooked to Sararights. Those who will not be important to make it at a Golden Stadium, what you have to do is buy enough data, and we shall be giving you the live coverage of this game. Of course, Eddie and Portuguese might be in the comment section. I may not be there, I might be there, so it's 50-50 yet.
Okay, viewers, we have come to the end of this show. It was me, Eddie Mahaz, and Senior Geroh in the studios. Don't forget, we are proudly sponsored by Sabrima Global Ventures Limited. They are the best with the best deals out there, so you can go get yourself covered with Sabrima Global Ventures Limited. One of the viewers that have been there with us, sharing their comments with us on X and WhatsApp, we did see the likes of CK down in Yumbe, the likes of Afro Sami, the likes of Cheesy Blinks. They're saying they're getting us live from wherever they are. We want to thank you for always being with us. Sararights TV, be with us all the time. We resume back on Monday, whereby we shall be giving you exclusive analysis of these games that will be transpiring on Sunday. Don't forget the derby at Greenlight Ababet Stadium, where Paidha Black Angels will be playing on Onduparaka Football Club. Ordinary is 5k, meanwhile VIP is 10k. In case you will not be able to make it to this, you can stream us live, whereby we shall be giving you the live commentary of these games taking place in Ababet Greenlight Stadium. Stay hooked. Thank you very much.